Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the all-new Tesla Model 2. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And if you want to see more content just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post these videos every single day. Let's get into it. So let's talk Tesla Model 2, and this is something that has been talked about for quite some time because, well, Tesla is the biggest EV brand here in the US, but they don't sell anything that's actually affordable. Their most affordable car currently is the Model 3, and that starts at $47,000 before options. And most Model 3s are equipped to be in the $50,000 to $60,000 range, and sometimes even up into the $70,000 range, just depending on how many options you actually add to the car. And the thing that's funny about that whole situation is that, well, Tesla said that the Model 3 was going to be their affordable car because it was going to start at $35,000. But what ended up happening is Tesla never actually sold a $35,000 Model 3. They just kept building the $60,000, $70,000 Model 3s instead because those are the ones that they can actually make money with. However, Tesla says that they understand that there's a lot of demand for more affordable EVs, and so they really want to make this Model 2 happen. And so here's what Tesla's doing to make this Model 2 happen. First off, they're taking out a lot of the fancy creature comforts that you have in the Model 3. Stuff like, heated seats, the big glass roof, and just a lot of the tech that car is known for in general to bring down the cost of this Model 2 so that it's more affordable. And this is actually what Tesla did when they went from the Model S to the Model 3. They took out a lot of features that the Model S has, like the air suspension, to make it so that the Model 3 would be a much more affordable car. So they're basically doing that same philosophy with this Model 2. And so for those of you that are going to want a bare bones EV, the Model 2 is actually going to offer that. And I think that that's actually really appealing because then it would just be a really good A to B car that, again, doesn't have all the crazy tech because not everyone wants all of the crazy tech that some of the other Tesla cars, frankly, have. And the next thing is actually going to be the battery. Tesla actually has a battery called the 4680 battery, which is a cheaper alternative compared to what you see in most electric cars and what you see in Tesla cars currently. And it's named that because of the dimensions. It's 46 millimeters by 80 millimeters. Tesla's always extremely creative with how they name things. But all you need to know for practical sake is that this battery is less expensive than what Tesla's using currently, and with the size of the Model 2, it should still give it decent range, somewhere in the mid 200s to potentially low 300s in terms of total driving range, which is more than competitive. And especially if you look at this car being a much more affordable car, I mean, that's completely fine because you have some electric cars that are over six figures that don't even have 300 miles of range. And I know that because I've tested several of them, like the Audi e-tron GT. And so range is not a problem. However, something that could make this Model 2 slightly more expensive is the fact that it'll apparently have full self-driving, just like you can get in other Tesla cars. Now, I don't think this is going to be standard equipment. We don't exactly have confirmed information on that one way or the other, but I don't think that's going to happen because right now it's an option with other models, and so it makes sense that it would be an option with this Model 2. So it'll probably come standard with something like adaptive cruise control, and then if you want to pay extra, you can get the full self-driving just like other Tesla cars, but that obviously will bring up the price quite a bit. And speaking of price, Tesla wants this car to start in like the $25,000 range, which is just absolutely fantastic because here in the US, there's not really any other EV that you can get in that range. You can get hybrids in that price range, but most EVs start somewhere in the $30,000 range at least typically, and a lot of them are, over $40,000 or $50,000 in most cases. And so this would definitely undercut the competition by a substantial amount. But again, what you have to remember is that's the base price before options, and just like with other Tesla cars, options will be plentiful. And so I'm sure that the cars that most people will be driving around will probably be in the $30,000 to $40,000 range after they add the options that'll make the car slightly more livable. And that's where I think the big catch comes with this car. Sorry, my cat decided to jump up onto the ledge that I'm using to hold the camera. And so anyways, as I was saying, that's where the big catch comes in. And that's the fact that, yeah, this car will probably start somewhere in the $25,000 range, But if you want to get the car how you're probably going to want to get it, you're going to have to spend quite a bit of money. And so again, I think that it's going to be appealing to a lot of people because they'll be able to just buy a bare bones EV, and I think that's great. But I think in terms of, what most Tesla buyers have become accustomed to, it's going to be a little bit weird with how bare bones it is, and then they're going to realize that after they spend all the money they need to spend to get the car equipped how they want it to, then it's not going to be anywhere near that $25,000 price range, I think. I mean, self-driving, for example, that's like several $1,000s. And, judging by what most other automakers do when it comes to features like heated seats and all that, it's going to be, $100 or not 100, like $500 here, $1,000 here. Just those options always add up on cars. So we definitely need to emphasize that in today's video. And on top of that, just like Tesla's other cars, this is surely not going to be all-wheel drive at that $25,000 price range. It's going to be a single electric motor car at the $25,000 price range, and they'll probably offer a dual motor setup, but then again, that's another thing to increase the price. And I'm not trying to blast Tesla for this because every single automaker does this, but that's what you're going to see in all of the headlines is $25,000 Tesla once we get the official unveiling of this car. But then once we see customer deliveries, it's probably going to be a $40,000, maybe $45,000 car if you add, a dual motor setup, if you have a sunroof, if you want that, the self-driving, all the works. However, with all of that being said, if Tesla's able to get this car out for the 2024 model year, they will absolutely retake the EV market and gain a massive amount of market share because yes, by 2024 for the model year, we will have some more affordable EVs from other automakers. But again, most of them are still going to be at least $30,000 starting price and more so in the $40,000 to $50,000 starting price range. So they're not going to be anywhere near as affordable as this Tesla Model 2. And then on top of that, it's a Tesla, and the brand name behind that is so strong in the EV world that people will buy it simply because of the badge that's on the front. And so if we look at the sales numbers with Tesla's cars currently, the Model X and the Model S don't sell in huge numbers, but the Model 3 and the Model Y, I mean, those are several 100,000 per year at this point. If you look at the global sales, if you look at just the US market, it's a lot. And so with something that is half the price of a base Model 3, we're talking about a car that will most likely sell in the 500,000 at least to, if not into the several million unit range per year just for the US market. And then if they're able to ramp up production with this to support the global market's hunger for something like this, then you're talking about Tesla probably selling as many units as what Toyota sells per year globally, which is in the 10 million unit range. And there are some people that will say, no, Tesla will sell 20 million plus. And I mean, we'll have to see if this car even comes out, but I definitely think that's a bit of a leap. But somewhere in that 5 to 10 million unit range per year globally, I think that's a little bit more feasible. But I mean, Tesla always ends up surprising us with, on both sides, with delays, but then also with, how well they're able to pull everything together and produce things at a rate that we just don't think is possible, but then they end up showing us that, well, it's possible. Now, what do I think about this new Model 2? And this is definitely not coming from a Tesla fanboy. Just go look at the videos I've posted in the past. I am not fond of Tesla's cars. I actually really like the company because I think they've done a really good job with innovating in the EV world and just making EVs more mainstream. I just hate their cars. They're ugly, they drive like crap, and the build quality is absolutely atrocious. But that's where the Model 2 actually makes a lot of sense for the company because it's a $25,000 car. And so having horrible build quality, horrible driving experience, and being ugly is fine because it's a cheap car. Nobody cares. And so I feel like it just perfectly fits Tesla. Tesla should have started with these cheap cars, even though it doesn't always make financial sense. And that's the other thing that I think that Tesla is in a perfect place to really release this Model 2. They can basically use the more expensive vehicles they sell to help subsidize this less expensive vehicle that's not going to be as profitable. They're surely still going to make profits on it, but it's not going to be as profitable as when they sell a Model S, for example, that's over $100,000. But there will be enough profit in it, and there will be enough volume sold with this Model 2 because, again, of the brand and everything, that it'll all work out for Tesla. And so I'm actually all about this Model 2 because it'll make EVs more affordable. It'll make the legacy automakers work even harder to build us better EVs, and those are the EVs that I will purchase because I don't think I'll ever purchase a Tesla. And who knows, maybe in like 5 years, I'll be like, you know what, I changed my mind. But at that point, Tesla better have better build quality. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. That's going to sum things up for today's video. And I want you guys to let me know what you think about this new Tesla Model 2. If you are planning on purchasing one, like, does this sound like a really attractive offer? So again, kind of more of like a baseline EV that is more affordable. And you know, do you think that's a good thing for Tesla to do, or do you think that they should focus more on the other vehicles that they have claimed that they're going to release and still haven't released, like the Tesla semi-truck, the Tesla Cybertruck? And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you.